In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to apply for a visitor visa from inside Canada. And this video, it's for students and workers who are looking to apply for visitor visas from inside of Canada. Conditions to apply from inside Canada include, number one, you are already in Canada. 2, you hold a valid study or work permit. Number 3, you want to leave and return to Canada in the near future. And number 4, your existing work visa permit rather is expired or was only valid for one entry. It is also important to note that you should apply at least 2 months before you plan to leave Canada. These are the key things to remember. Number 1, a work permit or study permit is not a visa. What this means is when you are trying to extend your work or your study permit, you won't get a visitor visa. But if you plan on leaving and re-entering Canada, you need a separate application for a visitor visa. Number 2, you can still apply for a visitor visa before your work or study permit extension arrives. So for this part, you must provide proof that your application has been approved, such as a screenshot of your online approval, your application number, or any other documents that prove that you have a valid or you've been approved for your study or work permit extension. And finally, you get the right application form. Once we start the process, I'm going to show you guys what this means in order to get the right application form. Let's quickly dive in. You can see on my screen right now, this is a visitor visas for workers and students, how to apply from inside Canada. The most important things I want you guys to pay attention to before you start the process is this highlighted ones that I put on the screen right now. It says, get the right application form. So for the first question, what would you like to do in Canada? You have to select study if you have a study, a valid study permit, or work if you have a work permit, a valid work permit. So now when you are asked what is your current country/territory of residence, you are going to select Canada because you are applying from inside Canada. And once you do that and once you start answering the questions, it says that you may be given the option to extend your current study or work permit or apply for a temporary resident visa. Make sure you select temporary resident visa. This is super important to remember because you're going to get the option to extend your work or your study permit depending on what you're trying to apply for. But you are going to choose temporary resident visa if your intention is to apply for a visitor visa inside of Canada, which is going to help you leave Canada and come back anytime, right? Let's quickly dive in so that we can start the process. So the first thing you do is where it says create an account or sign in, you click there. And once you do that, you are going to click on sign in with GC key, or you sign in with your sign-in partner. We're going to sign in with the GC key. So after you log in, on top, it's going to show you view the applications you submitted. So if you have something that you've already submitted, this is where you're going to see it here. And if you have an application that you're working on, it's going to show here, and that is where you're going to click continue to start working on the application. But if you don't have any application, we are going to start an application. So under start an application, you click on apply to come to Canada, and then determine your eligibility and apply online. You click on visitor visa, study and work permit. And once you do that, if you look at this information here, it says for the first question, what would you like to do? Select study if you have a valid study permit, or work if you have a valid work permit. So what we're going to do is we are going to choose study. So if you're trying to renew your work permit, you are going to choose work, right? Pretty much, because this video is for visitor visas for students and workers. So you're going to choose study. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? So we're going to say temporarily more than 6 months. Select the code that matches the one on your passport. So depending on your country's passport, you're going to choose it. For this one, I'm using Nigeria as a demo. What is your current country/territory of residence? So here it says, when asked what is your current country/territory of residence, select Canada because you're trying to apply from inside of Canada. So what we're going to do here is we click Canada. So after that, do you have a family member who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident and is 18 years or older? If you do, you choose yes. If you don't, you choose no. What is your date of birth? Here, you're going to choose when you were born, select your month, and then select your day, and you hit next. So it's going to ask you if you're a lawful permanent resident of the United States. If it's a yes, you choose yes. If no, you choose no, and next. Then it's going to ask you your current immigration status in Canada. So for this demo, we use an example of student, but this video is for students and workers as well, pretty much similar. So you click on next. Excuse me. Here, what is your marital status? You're going to choose married or single. For this demo, we're going to use single. And then the province where you'll be spending most of your time, you're going to choose Ontario or Alberta or whatever works out for you. So now our result is showing us study permit in Canada. You may be eligible to extend your stay in Canada as a student. And temporary resident visa. You will need a temporary resident visa to return to Canada. So on here, it says you may be given the option to extend your current study or work permit or apply for a temporary resident visa. Make sure you select temporary resident visa. So the application from listed in the document checklist will be called Application for Visitor Visa, Temporary Resident Visa made outside of Canada, IMM 5257. Super important to know this information. That's why it says get the right application form here. And this is also the same process for workers. All you need to do is, what would you like to do in Canada? You choose work. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? Temporarily more than 6 months. Here you're going to choose your passport ID. This time around I chose India. What is your current country of residence? Again, you choose Canada because you're applying from inside of Canada. If you have a family member who is a Canadian, you do that. Then also you choose your date of birth, you choose your month, you choose your day, and next. Then it's going to ask you, are you a lawful resident? If it's a yes for you, you choose that. If no, you keep it going. And then here it's going to ask you, what is your current immigration status? So the first time we said student, this time around we're doing a demo for a worker. Next. And then now the difference with that is for student, it goes straight to the point. For workers, it's going to ask you a couple questions. Does any of the following apply to you? So you just have to read all of this. If it does apply to you, you choose yes. If no, you choose no. So after reading this, I'm just assuming that I'm the one applying for this. I've read it, it does not apply to me, so I will say no. Same with this, it doesn't apply to me, I will say no. And as well, this doesn't apply to me, I will say no. Next. And then, have you been told by an immigration, refugee, or citizenship Canada office that you approved? I would say no. Have you submitted a permanent resident application in Canada? I would say no. Do you have a written job offer? I will say yes, because I do have one. If you don't, then you're going to say no. Next. What is your marital status? You're going to say married, widowed, single, whatever works for you. And then you choose the province where you'll be spending most of your time. And next, same process. The initial one, it just says you may be eligible to extend your stay in Canada to study with a study permit. Now this one says you may be eligible to extend your stay in Canada to work with a work permit. And based on the instruction I showed you guys when we're doing the study permit option, you are going to apply for the temporary resident visa, which is the recommended if you're applying for a visitor visa for workers and students from inside of Canada. And the same process, you click on this and you create your own personal checklist. As I hope this makes sense. Here, you're going to create your own personal checklist based on the requirements or whatever they're going to ask you. So the next thing you're going to do is continue. Then it's going to ask you questions and you're going to answer them based on your current situation. Which of the following best describes your situation? You would say, I have a study permit for a specific institution or level of education. You're going to answer this based on your own. So I'm just going to say, I have a study permit. Let me look at the options again. So I'll choose I have a study permit. So you're going to answer this based on your situation. I'm just giving you guys a demo example. Next, find out if you're eligible to apply. Have you had any medical exam performed by an IRCC? So you are going to choose yes or no, depending on your situation. I'm just going to say yes. And do you want to submit an application for a family member? I will say no. Next. Are you giving someone access to your application? I will say no. Next. In the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprint and photos? I would say yes. If it's a no for you, you choose no. But in here as well, it says changes. This is just temporary. For now, it might change at some point. It says, as a temporary measure, if you are in Canada and applying to work or stay temporarily in Canada, you do not need to give your biometrics, right? It's always good to read all these instructions. It can help you as an answer these questions right, or know the things you don't need to provide at the moment, right? Things might change in the future. So you choose next. There are fees associated with this application. I'm going to say, yes, I will pay my application fees. Next. Are you able to make a digital copy of your documents? I will say yes. Next. Will you be paying your application fees online? I would say yes. Next. And then here you have the option to review your answers, right? You can review your answers. And then once you do that, if you want to change up something, you hit on this button here. If you want to start again, you click on this to start the application process again, or the eligibility questions, and then you click on continue. Then it walks you through the steps. And after that, you click on continue. And now it's telling you application for visa, temporary resident visa made outside of Canada, IMM 5257. Exactly this information here. So that means we have the right application for this process. So these other supporting documents are the information you're going to provide based on the answers you provided when you were answering the eligibility questions. So yours is going to differ from someone else based on the answers you provide, right? So after you do that, down here, you are going to see the option. Once you've uploaded all your information, you're going to see the option to for next, and then you're going to pay your application fee, and then you submit your you're going to submit your application. But I'm going to walk you guys through on how to fill out this application for visitor visa made outside of Canada, IMM 5257. So to download this, you just click on that button, and then once it opens up, it's just going to take a few seconds. Then you're going to hit on this button here. Then it's going to tell you what to do. So now that we've downloaded this form, this is how to fill it out. So let's quickly dive in and I'll show you guys what to do. So the first thing you do is, if you have a UCI, you're going to put it in here. If you don't know where to find that, you can see that on your study permit or your work permit. And then you choose what you want service in. You want service in English or French, depending on what works for you. And then you request, number 3, it's all about the visa, the type of visa you are requesting for, which is a visitor visa. And then personal details, you're going to provide all your details, your full name and your given names. So if you've used any other name on number 2, you're going to choose yes and provide the answer below. If you haven't, you choose no. So on number 3, then you're going to provide these details: your sex, your date of birth, where you were born, and your country of territory. And then also your citizenship, right? Which is also where you were born. Then number 7 is your current country or territory of residence. Definitely it's going to be in Canada because you're applying from inside of Canada. And then option here, you can choose worker or student because those are the 2 that we're applying for this application process. Then you're going to choose the time you got your work permit or your study permit and when it is going to be expiring. Previous countries or territories of residence. If you have lived any other place, then you click on yes, provide that details here. If you haven't, just click on no. Then number 9, country or territory we're applying from, same as country or territory of residence. Yes. If no, you provide the details below. Then your current marital status, single. If you are married or in a common law relationship, then all you have to do is here you hit on the button below and choose married. And once you choose on married, you're going to be able to provide the date, your family name, and given name. So let's go back to the way it was, which was single. And then we go all the way down again to personal details continued. So have you previously been married? So this information continues. So if you have, you provide yes and provide the family name and the given names, date of birth, type of relationship, when it's expiring, depending on what you have. But if you don't, just leave it as single. Then languages, you're going to provide your mother tongue. And then if you're able to communicate in English and French, you choose that. If not, you can just choose only English or only French. And then if you choose both, here you have the option to choose which one you're fluent in, English or French. After that, on your passport, you're going to provide your passport number, your country or territory of issue, then when it was issued and the expiring date. For this example, I used 2016 to 2021 12, which is December of 2021. Also understand that if you are currently in Canada and your passport has expired, you can also renew it in Canada. So if you renewed it in Canada, then your country or territory of issue is now going to be Canada and no longer your country of citizenship, right? Then for national identity number, do you have a national identity number? You're going to say yes or no. If you have yes, click on yes, provide the information below. If no, just leave it as it is. Same with US PR card. Yes, provide the numbers below. If not, leave it as no. Then contact information. Here you're going to provide your current contact information in Canada. So for this example, I used City Kitchener, Canada, which is a country or territory, the province, and the postal code. And if the residential address, which is same as mailing address, you just say yes. If no, you provide details below. Then you provide your phone number. If you have an alternate phone number, you provide it here. If you have a fax number, you provide it below on number 5. And number 6, you provide your email as well. Then details of visit to Canada. So for the purpose of your visit, so this is an application to apply for a visitor visa inside of Canada. So the essence is, let's say you're leaving Canada and at some point you want to come in because, like I said in the PowerPoint presentation of the application process, which is the first video I made, or the first part of this video, I said that if you are trying to extend your study or your study permit or your work permit, it does not ensure you to leave and come back to Canada. So here, this option, you are going to choose returning worker or returning student because these are the options, right? Because you're applying it so that you can be able to like leave Canada and come in when you are ready to come back, right? So Once you provide that information, you indicate how long you plan to stay. So I just gave an example here, and funds available for your stay. So name and address or relationship of any institution. So I used Conestoga College as my employer, so you can use whatever works for you. Conestoga College is a college. People can work there as instructors, right? So if you have some other place that you're working, then you're going to provide that information. And then their relationship to you is that they are your employer. And then you provide the address in Canada as well. So your education, for this option, I provided that I studied. This is just a demo, like you guys know. Field of study was nursing in Conestoga College, Kitchener. So you provide the from and the to date, which is the education period. And then for the employment as well, then it says current activity or occupation. So I used nursing instructor at Conestoga College, which is the reason why I put this information here. So you do the same in yours. You're going to put in the information of your current activity or occupation, your employer, the city, territory or country, and the province. But it says give details of your employment for the past 10 years. So this is the current. For the previous, I use sales representative, the company, the city in Nigeria, or depending on whatever works for you, depending on the country you're applying from, you're going to put that information as it based on what works for you, right? So once you do that on the employment, you can use this as a demo when you're filling out your form. We go all the way down to background information. So now you're going to answer these questions. Within the past 2 years, have you or your family member ever had? So this is going to be a no, depending on what works for you. If it's a yes, you choose yes. But the one I wanted to talk about was this part. Have you previously applied to enter or remain in Canada? So it's going to be a yes. Reason being, I gave an example. I applied to study in Canada in 2015. Because you're already in Canada as a worker or as a student, that means you've previously applied to enter in Canada. You applied to come to study or you applied to come and work, right? So you're going to choose yes and provide that details below. Once you do that, you answer the remaining of the questions. If it's a yes, you choose yes. And once you do all of that, you come down to the signature. On the signature, you are going to, because this is going to be an online process, our signature is mostly your name, your last name, and all your names together, right? That's the way they've been doing this online process. So you're going to put in your name and the date when you filled your application. After you've done that, we are going to validate, and then I'll show you guys how to upload this and finish up the application. So let's validate. I just clicked on validate, okay. And then it's showing me that it's been validated. And this is how to validate your document once you fill it out. Let me show you guys how to upload it and finish the application process. So after filling out your application and validating it, you come back to your application, as you can see here. So I just, all you have to do is you click on update. You can click on update information. So all you have to do here is you click on this and upload that information. So as you can see here, it says IMM 5257E Visitor Visa inside Canada. I had to create it like that so I don't forget their exact application form. And then this is just like an example. I just used random files to upload here to give you guys an example. You do the same thing, you upload all these necessary information. These are optional documents, right? You don't need this one right now. So once you do that, all you have to do is you click on next. So we're going to click on next, and then it's showing us your declaration and electronic signature. Then it tells you everything you need to do, summary of fees, which is $100. And then what you have to do, you go here, you put your name. I'll just put my name, which is the name I've used, Brendan Anthony. So you add your name, which is the electronic signature. And then once you do that, then you are going to transmit and pay. So if you click on transmit and pay, then it gives you how to pay. Once you pay that, you've submitted your application. And that is how to fill out the application for visitor visas for students and workers inside of Canada. Thank you guys for watching.